Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the DST podcast with JT Smellick. The NFL awards came out tonight, and of course, I don't care about those, so the only fitting thing to do is do my own awards show. And without further ado, let us just jump right on into it. Alrighty, so kicking it off, we are going to just roll with one of the biggest ones. Biggest disappointment of the 2020 NFL season. Now, I do include postseason for some of these awards. If there's a big issue in the postseason, I'm not just going to ignore it. And so with that being said, Drew Brees is the biggest disappointment in the 2020 NFL season. I know many are going to question this one because he's been injured. So why, he's older. How can he have been a disappointment? Well, the issue with Drew Brees in past seasons was he seemed to have ran out of gas at the end, or it was something just insane that cost him everything. This year, he wasn't there were three quarterbacks that the Saints carried into the playoffs. Drew Brees was probably the third best quarterback that day. Taysom Hill, Teddy Bridgewater, all better quarterbacks than Drew Brees that season, in my opinion. Drew Brees just too inconsistent, injury-prone, out of gas. Just such a big disappointment for a Hall of Famer, never going to capture that second Super Bowl. Up next is the I Told You So award. Cam Newton is going to be taking this one home with honorable mentions going to Antonio Brown and the Chicago Bears. Antonio Brown, even though I stated should be not on an NFL team, he's a cancer, he's terrible. I didn't expect it to go this far, so I don't want to say that. And the Chicago Bears, I had them ranked in last place preseason, and they came second to last behind yours truly, the Detroit Lions. So not too much to be said there, but The Carolina Panthers, we watched Cam Newton play the first couple of games of the year, and he looked miserable. He looked terrible. He did not look like a good NFL quarterback at all. And I don't get he has another surgery. He's changing his throwing motion. There's all these different things about him, and we don't even know when he's going to play again and if he's just going to get injured again. So the biggest I told you so moment of the year is Cam Newton. Bust. Former MVP needs to retire. Now, this one is definitely one that I could not believe I was putting on this list, but the biggest surprise of the NFL season, none other than Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry came on in the second half of the NFL season and just tore up the league. He was one of the main reasons that the Tennessee Titans were able to get a playoff spot on the final day, and he was the catalyst for allowing the Tennessee Titans to destroy the dynasty that is the New England Patriots and stop the NFL MVP, Lamar Jackson. Going right into it, Lamar Jackson is my MVP. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. He's a great football player. He has to take another step forward this year or next year, in my opinion. Hopefully, we see a lot more progression just like last year. 2 playoff duds really hurts to see, but it is what it is. The kid had such a miraculous season, went toe-to-toe with every team in the NFL, and basically put a smackdown on all of them. And my game of the year, this is a very interesting one, but I actually have 2, but it's the same 2 teams playing. 49ers and Seahawks. We watched a miraculous game go into OT, and we watched Russell Wilson march down the field and win the game for him. But then we also watched another one where the Niners almost had it won. They blocked him at the very end. It was just a beautiful 2-game series, and I don't think you could say much more about these 2 teams facing off. It is nothing but fun football like it is every year. Most overrated coach in the league. This is another really good one, but I had some debate. I wanted to put Matt LaFleur. I wanted to put a few other coaches. The man down in Texas, and no, it's not who you think it is. But let me tell you, both the Texas coaches were a joke this year. But it's going to Pete Carroll. Most overrated coach, in my opinion. Just game planning when it comes to the playoffs. I once again I think Russell Wilson's one of the most talented football players on the field. Yeah, you don't have a whole lot of weapons, but having Marshawn Lynch, who you've had back for 2 games, be the driving force of your team in a playoff game, trying to run the ball first to set up for your pass, I don't understand it. You're already in a hole talent-wise, so please let your most talented player on the field flourish. This is NFL playoff time. It's not time to get cute or smart or anything. I've always just thought he's a little overrated, and this year I think he really made some poor moves. Honorable mention to probably someone like Sean Payton. Offensive Player of the Year, Michael Thomas. Was really impressed with him. I didn't really want to give him this award, but the guy is a catching machine, led the league in catches. I think he had the most catches in NFL history this year. He's an animal. He catches just about everything you put in front of him. He got paid this year, and he came out and he said, "This is why you're paying me. Watch what I can do." You can't hate the man for it. Now up next is going to be a very fun one because it is most overrated player in the league. Honorable mention goes to Dak Prescott, my favorite quarterback. He had a lot of garbage yards. Kept hearing how Dallas is one of the best offenses in the league because of how many yards they've had. But yeah, it's just all garbage time yards. So I don't really care about that. But it goes to his teammate Ezekiel Elliott, most overrated player in the league after a holdout and all this drama, highest paid running back in the league. Just didn't cut it. Went MIA in such crucial games, fumbled the football, just a lot of downside from being the best guy. William Save is the top 3 back in the league this year. Most interesting player of the 2019 NFL season, Jameis Winston has to take the cake here. I mean, this guy is so fascinating to watch. He throws so many interceptions, 2 to 3 a game on average, yet he can throw for 4 touchdowns in the blink of an eye. He's like a mixture of Patrick Mahomes and Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford when he was gunslinging, but Patrick Mahomes with this, every time they're down, you feel like he can just pull them back into the game. I love turning the TV on and watching him play. You can't hate a man that can do that. Now, would I want him as my quarterback? God, no, he's a loser. But man, is he fun to watch, and I always find it interesting, and I can't wait to see what Bruce Arians does with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. My comeback player of the year is Teddy Two Gloves Bridgewater, the man that I stated should have been the Minnesota quarterback from the beginning. Couldn't believe they got rid of him. Was so proud to watch him come back. I think he played some preseason games with the Jets. I was so proud of him to see him throwing the football again. Saints gave him a shot. He made the most of it. 5-0 as a starter when he was filling in for Drew Brees being injured. And honestly, he would have probably beat the Titans that day. Now, this final award I'm going to be giving out is one that me and my roommates, my old roommates, we had a little bit of a discussion over because he won the award in the NFL already for their award show tonight. And I at first disagreed with it. I pondered it. And one of the things I've always stated about an NFL player that is one of the most important things for them is their availability. Your best ability is your availability. And if I ignored that, then I shouldn't be allowed to boast that when it comes to other players. So my Rookie of the Year award goes to Kyler Murray. Played every single game, didn't miss any games, unlike Josh Jacobs. A.J. Brown came on at the end. I personally really would have liked to see Josh Jacobs get it. I think he was such an impact player this year. But Kyler Murray was there day in and day out, learning, taking all the rookie hurdles, adapting to them, forcing his team back into games, going toe-to-toe with teams like the Rams. And I mean, I don't think he's going to be around long term. I don't like Cliff Kingsbury. I don't like anything about him. But I cannot deny a man who was there for 16 NFL games. And that's going to wrap it up for this year's NFL Awards show. Normally we have something a little bit longer, but I like to get straight to the point. I want you guys to just see what I have and give me your feedback. Don't forget, we are doing most of these podcasts on Apple iTunes. I will be trying to upload this one to YouTube sometime within the week. Today is February 2nd. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And don't forget, Super Bowl Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, I got $50 on your Kansas City Chiefs. Mark that down. Watch it happen. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Name's JT Smellick, and until next time, see you.